Now, for you, I am telling you, I am holding a book in my hand. This is Pranava Vedam. Correct? That is change of 8 into 9, remaining at the same time identity. This is energy, this is matter. Sound and light. So unless these two things come together, there is no life. So these are the two gestures by which the great gentleman Mayan taught. Because he came from the south, he was called Sadhanar. In Sanskrit he is called Dakshinamurti. You are going to see him here. No more sunlight. No more sunlight. In other words, we will be able to bear the sunlight. I took several births. One birth only from here. One of my great ancestors designed and built the temple here during the period of the great Rajaraja Chola, the imperial Cholas according to history. He was patronized by a great designer and builder by name Kunjaramallan Rajaraja Perundachar. Simply it means it was built by the royal architect by name Kunjaramallan. Correct? So that is actually on the inscriptions. And because we were able to reach this huge structure all in stone, no brick or cement, my dear sir, it has lasted for about 1018 years, still alive in pristine form, as if the structure has been left by the chisel and hammer, the sculptor. This is looking pyramidal. The word pyramid means at the center there is fire. If you go there, you will see the cell inside, in the ground floor. There is also a point at the center, it is actually fire, which we call in Sanskrit Brahma Bindu. So out of that Brahma Bindu, that is microboard, micro atom, or smaller than the smallest atom, that is called a microboard. Out of that the universe came. One day all these will converge together and end in a small point, so that is called again Brahma Bindu. So from that atom to Andam, that is your universe. And then from universe you go into atom. So this is actually philosophy, but it is science, scientific philosophy. Correct? And I was telling Madam Mandodari, there is a sentence, Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. What does it mean? Your God, He is smaller than the smallest atom and bigger than the biggest atom or your cosmos. So this is actually the basic science underlying all our concepts and conceptions. So our people, the designers, unless they understand, they can't design. If you want to write a letter to me, you must understand what to write. Okay? So you create the feeling into form and then write with your pen and send to me. Therefore, I am not responsible for what has been written in the letter. You are responsible. Similarly, whatever you have shown here, we are actually responsible for the creation and also illustration. But I am very sorry to say our name has been forgotten or taken away from the history. Fortunately, the king has written our name on the stone wall. Not writing on the water, writing on one of the important elements, this matter. So matter or rock or stone lasts for centuries. So we are proud to say that one of our great grandfather did this temple. Now turn your back and look at the temple and enjoy the immensity and also the greatness of the form. I will give you 5 minutes time. Meditate upon the structure. Externally, you are looking into the God Himself. Yes, this is not structure. When he was telling a lot of things here and there. Now forget the science. Come to technology. This particular temple, including the top filial, the apex, 216 feet high. Right from the ground floor up to the top. It is hollow. Right from the bottom. That is the bottom. The steps. That is the bottom. From bottom to top, this is hollow inside. And we have got the skin tapering like this. And our people coming from abroad, critics, archaeologists, they have named this structure as pyramid. Pyramid of the South, they say. That is because they have already seen pyramids. It is looking like stepped pyramid. Now on the outer surface, we have added on a good number of motifs or objects of embellishments. So on that account, the naked pyramid is actually concealed. Understand? All these ornamentations conceal what is called the nakedness of the structure.
Yeah, okay.
Correct? Now, how this temple could have constructed, keeping that all these parts were lying on the ground, the sculptor carved, and every carved, finished carvings were lifted up and assembled, and it went up to the top. How they could have done? Each stone piece will be about 5 tons, 3 tons, 6 tons. There was no crane, only manual labor, and some trees and other things were available. With those very simple material, that much of height they were able to reach. How they could have done? Number of people say number of versions about this construction. Hey, they போடுங்கடா வர பசங்களா கால் ஒன்று விளையாட நல்லா கேட்டு சோபத்தில் வேண்டியிருக்கு வந்து எனக்கு பிடிக்கிற கிடையாது தீர்க்க தரிசனமே எல்லாரும் வர பசங்க நான் கற்று வேண்டியிருக்கேன். Hello. Yes. I am sorry to say, I am not disparaging. My voice is feminine. Therefore, I have to seek the aid of some instrument. Now you will be able to hear me loudly. So to construct this, normally if it is a wall, we will be having a kind of scaffold, very simple type of scaffold, putting poles all around and also thrusting some horizontals, and some planks will be put up. The masons will stand on the planks and do the construction work if it is brick work. Okay. Now this is stone work, not brick wall. So they have to build some kind of supporting wall. Now for this temple, the supporting wall will be around 25 to 30 feet wide. And one side stone, on the inside stone, in between will be hollow. So they put sand inside. Okay, or earth inside. In that way, by step, the scaffold will be built up. Within the scaffold now becomes the enclosure. They will build carved stones, lay one above the other. What's called in clockwise direction. Starting from the northeast point, they will put stones all around, and it will be closed in between again with sand, all these things. So even the finished structure will lie concealed within the scaffold. So as much as we are having a scaffold outside, we will also be having the same scaffold repeated inside also. So in between, the finished structure will be there, and outside you will be having the scaffold. So scaffold, and the structure will be there. So in that way, every step will be raised. For that, they will bring lot of earth from the neighboring village. Actually, village has become a big tank now. Why? All the earth have come over here. Yeah. By cart loads in those days. So in that way, every foot they raised, putting sand in between. So that is going on in Hawaii. If you go there, you can see that. Oh, they're doing that. Yes. Yeah. But in the case of my constructing the statue, it's a different technique I have used. Principle wise, all are the same. So when they went inside, the scaffold also will be going like this. Here it will start, slowly it will gradient, and top will be almost square. So when they reach that is called a dome. Once when I came with my students here, I actually measured. It is almost 1/3 of the total width at the bottom. That is where Brahmastham. So the measure of Brahmastham is actually taken to the top. This is very important, madam. The measure of Brahmastham inside is taken to the top. Yes, if you actually go inside and measure the inner cell, 3 times that will be the width of the outer wall. I will show you where you have to measure. Nobody knows where to take measurements because they have got ornamental moldings outside. So where to take measure, nobody knows. Even the great archaeologist doesn't know. Because the load-bearing wall, where does it exist? I will show you. You will show now. So 1/3 is actually the cell, and 2/3, 1/3 wall and 1/3 here wall. So all put together 3 times. The inner cell is actually width of the main sanctum, outer measure. So now this 1/3 will be divided further into modules. So one module will be outer skin, and there will be a gap inside, and there is another wall inside, and there is another vacuum inside, and then in that way it is drawn like this. It's a measured drawing. It is not imaginary. So wall within wall, wall within wall. So they are taken right up to the top of the first story or ground floor. Then tapering also takes place. Even when we do this tapering, the same proportions we will be applying, and there will be number of walls. Going like that. Everywhere you will find a hollow space to circumambulate. Even up to the top you can go around. In this way it has been designed. Finally, when the Shilpi reached the apex, the dome's height, the king himself was not able to see what is contained in it. Until the last day, the king, the royal, that gentleman who ruled over this Perisola, he was not aware of the shape and beauty of the structure. Actually, his heart was throbbing because he has spent about, at that time, present value I am telling you, $500 billion. That much of amount he spent on the construction. So if you dismantle the structure and put them piece separately, the whole of Tanjore will be spread with what is called only stones. Therefore, I used to joke, the people who lived actually in this particular place must be only architects and sculptors, not human beings. After everything went into the structure, then they saw this. So what struck or happened at the end? Because all the scaffolds will have to be removed. Now, before removing, they will be seeing only the shell of an egg. And inside we have got the kunju or the chick. It looked like that. So the king was very much afraid, because if it is wrong, or if it has gone wrong, all the subjects, all the ministers and all the various will chop off his head. You have spoiled the country's wealth. You have produced only a heap of stones. Is it for this that we fought with other people? They will shout like that. So he was very much afraid. The man who was actually very bold was the man who built this. Then, when all the outer shell, the scaffold is removed, people were struck with wonder. What a beautiful structure. Now it is very old, 1,000 years old. At this time, it was very beautiful, as bright as a brightness could be. Then there is one important question. What is that question? My dear sir, okay, the bottom is vertical, but when it goes up, it is sloping. Will it slant this way or that way? The bold architect, the designer, he gave a beautiful answer. Even the shadow will not be cast on the wall, on the ground. It is so firm. It will last for centuries, he said. The king was mightily pleased, and he gave him presents. And I will tell you how the presents were made. So even now, the shadow is falling on the ground. To say that shadow will not fall on the ground, that is mere fabrication. This is a legend, and is a word just to enhance the beauty of the structure. But what he said, that even the shadow will not be cast on the ground means this will remain always erect. Similarly, when I build this statue, will it remain forever?
It lasts.
Or it will topple down, whether the head will go off. I told them, as long as the waves and the rock on which it is mounted, they exist, my statue will exist. So on that account, and this was actually approved and testified by tsunami waves of recent occurrence. So that has motivated my previous ruler of this place, Tamil Nadu, that is our chief minister. He himself is an artist, great artist. So he is going to honor me day after tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, oh, I forgot. Tomorrow, with some small amount, which is not equal to the thing that I have done. So that much he is well-to-do or poor-to-do. I can use the word. Now, when the time came, when all the people came, when all the kings around came and joined the celebrations of opening, that is called opening ceremony, that is called Graha Pravesam, entering or unveiling the statue, unveiling the structure, the king brought one big plate. The sapadi, just like I forget where, Mandodari, was standing before the king. What he felt, my dear Sapadi, you are greater than myself. You are taller than myself. My vision went only up to about 10 feet or 15 feet, 20 feet. Yours has gone to 116 feet. So I like you very much. Here is my wealth, filled with gold coins. You take away all these things yourself. But the great architect, he was proud of his own work, his achievement. He never took more than what actually he wanted for his livelihood. So there was a big heap, understand, filled with, that he filled a plate. He took only a handful. That is enough, my dear king, for my livelihood. But you have shown your wealth, I have taken my need. This is how our people are honored. Therefore, similarly, my gentleman, my former chief minister, He's not going to have these coins in his plate. He has got his coins in his mind. But he's going to give whatever is available with him. So tomorrow I'm going to take it. And I have also announced in the papers before it was open, one of my ancestors built this great structure of this temple. And similarly, after 1,000 years, I am repeating the same technique